think. Raymond Washington was 16 when he started the Crips, and the Crips started before the Bloods. So
of course.
These are rules.
The Crips created Bloods because it was really
exactly.
Yeah.
So these are rules from 16-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
So as a 40-year-old millionaire, are you bound by rules created by broke 16-year-olds?
No, you'll be a damn fool. So I want to make sure that I make this extremely clear. When I said what I said earlier and what I believe Messiah is saying is solely based upon street politics. Granted, it is, yes, some kids made this up. What I'm speaking to is there are grown men or people of all age demographics that still hold that to the standard, which is why I said, hey, you do got to understand what you signed up for. Because I agree, at a certain age, being a businessman, hey, you really want to hold me to something that we started as young men? But there's people who are and who do. I've literally been at a local liquor store in South Central. Watched a man go in there, ask another man, where are you from? The man ignores him. He bothers him again. Where are you from? He says, hey, man, I'm 40 years old. You know what the brother told him? Man, I'm 47.
The thing is,
and was serious about his gangbanging. And so there is everything you guys said I agree with. The problem is there are people that uphold those degenerate politics.
Like I don't condone.
Was the code before that degenerate because it was working in unison before the rules was thrown away. That's the problem. That's where it started. Niggas started throwing the rules away.
The rules are still,
and now we saying we following these rules. The game is fucked because we're not following no rules. Like we just said, niggas is snakes. Niggas is telling. Niggas is condoning certain shit. Selective politicking. So now you get to a point where you're not even following the rules that was set if it was these 16-year-olds. And even to Raymond's point that like we learned, when he got out of prison, he said, this ain't what I created. So he started falling back. So he already seen it clear. By then, the rules was already being established and changed. So it's like it became bigger than that. We like to look at it from that standpoint, but every generation, niggas start transcending and the rules start shedding a little more and more. Niggas start having more and more ways of justifying shit. Like if Gucci gonna still be out here presenting like I understand what you saying, like to a point of if you looking out, but if you still selling these niggas the same shit that you know ain't beneficial for them, what does that say about you, nigga? So why do I sit here and brush over it if this nigga is carrying itself that way?
Now you right. You right with that, but if we gonna go by, let's say Raymond Washington, he started this for protection. In my eyes, the no snitching thing would not have been for crimes. It would have been for our organization. Niggas flipped it and turned it into, okay, now we doing crimes. We not here protecting the community. Now the no snitching is protecting us doing crimes. So where does it start and where does it begin? Because if we going by the original rules, they started that for protecting the community, not robbing it. Absolutely. Not unaliving niggas and snaking niggas and doing this and doing that. Niggas started to implement that for their benefit or when they started doing fuck shit to niggas.
So I'm gonna say to give you to answer the question, because I feel like we haven't gave one. I feel like at the time when you become a man is when you're able to give back more than for your just family alone. If you're able to put other people on, that's when you can start transitioning from being a gang gang banger to a gang member. You can still be from the hood, but now I'm not doing the front line. I'm not doing the new nigga shit. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not about to be out front line. No, I'm the one that's putting the homies on, creating businesses in the hood, all his opportunities. That's my role now at this point.
But does that give you a pass to snitch? Because when we think snitch,
no, it doesn't give
that's backstabbing the nigga.
But you don't. It doesn't give you a pass to snitch, but it does give you grace to not necessarily have to be the most frontlining and taking a charge and taking the time. Somebody should be doing that for you.
Okay, so do we need to get a clear definition of snitching? Because what I've seen is everybody gives their own definition of what they think it is. It's not really no black and white definition of what snitching is.
So
like
I define
do
snitching.
something?
So let me tell you this. I'm nipping in the bud, black and white for me. I'm not sacrificing my own freedom to tell on one of the homies so I can get less time for a crime that I was willing to do with the homies. So he can get more time, I get less time. That's snitching. I'm not doing it. I'm not throwing nobody under the bus to reduce my time for something that I knew what I was doing.
Okay, so what
Even
if...
to the even to
So
the,
no, because I want to get a definition. I want everybody agree or disagree. So I agree with that one. Now, what if your homie get into some shit and then the crime get put off on you and he doesn't fess up to it? He just leave you in there. Like, let's say police pull up.
Gotta fight that. That's why I got lawyer money for it. That's why I'm at where I'm at now, where I have lawyer money. I'm not gonna say the homie didn't. No, the homie did what he's not supposed to say nothing. And if they think it's me, my job is to prove that it wasn't me. That's what you hire a lawyer for.
Okay, so that's snitching too. Because a lot of people will say that ain't snitching.
What you mean?
No, I'm saying like we in a car. Mm-hmm. You don't know he got a burner. Y'all get pulled over, he throw it under your seat, boom, you go down. He don't say it's his.
He don't say it's his. So that, and it's my car. That's when I had to bait. That wasn't my gun. I'm fighting to prove that gun wasn't mine. I never once said it was his.
People will say if you say it's not yours, that's snitching because there's only one other person in the car.
That ain't.
No, that ain't. That's not snitching, bro. I never went.
Because if it's not yours, then whose is it?
I had other
No,
companies.
because if the other nigga said it ain't his, then y'all both just gonna go down.
I'm not doing a police job for them.
That's my attitude.
I'm not doing a police job for them.
But what I'm saying is niggas will say you snitch by saying that's not yours because it got to be one of us.
Well, then I would take that. I would take that time.
Well, you don't say nothing then.
So, because this is where it's gonna get to, because the trolls is coming, and they'd have a point. Ultimately, what this really come down to is, you see how all this politicking is going on, and it's exhausting because we got to define this.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what this should be teaching y'all is, those of you who are younger than us or considering it, learn from this. Don't do it.
Straight up.
Don't do it. That's what this should teach you. Because that's what they're going to say in the comments. And at this point, they won't be wrong. So we made the mistake of doing it. Somehow God has some grace on our lives. We don't have these problems. But you see, just having this discussion, we're all like kind of like, and so imagine those who live in this life in those situations. Don't do it. That way you don't have to have these debates. You don't have to feel no kind of way because that puts you under a certain type of stress.
Because everything, even in political wise, is case by case. Yeah. Even when you go to court or catch a case, it's case by case. No case is one defined as that's what this is. Mm-hmm. Even if somebody as extreme is shooting you in the streets and you've seen it and tell who shot you, you're a snitch.
Yeah.
So y'all let me know in the comments because I want a clear, defined answer from people. How long does someone who was once in the streets got to be tied to the street rules? If I'm in the streets, 100% you tied by the street rules. But if a person transitioned and is no longer in the streets or connected to the streets, are they still bound by those rules?
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's till you denounce it. You have to denounce it and that be it.
I agree. Denounce it or just be above the program. We so successful, like somebody like a Nip or a TD, a top dog. Once you get to a certain level of success, we all know we got to protect the asset now. He from the hood.
If they snitch, it's over with. If let's say Nip was where he was at,
if Nip
he snitched, he was done. His reputation was shot because he's still selling 60 Crip. Like Jay-Z. How long Jay-Z been done selling drugs? He a billionaire. If he snitch right now, it's a wrap. Not for his money. I'm saying his public image to us.
I just think in this day and age, Jay-Z is so far.
Yeah,
these people don't even care no more. They don't care with the Gucci shit right now. Like, people don't care. It's like,
I'm saying the hood.
Yeah, the hood either. Half these niggas is doing the same thing.
I got a question though. It's kind of around this realm that you touched on it, right? So just imagine this. When people go to jail, right? Go to prison. People typically turn Islam, they turn religions in prison. Is that a real transformation, or is it for them to cop out so they won't be active in the pen?
That's case by case basis. Some niggas is real, some is a cop out. I'm not gonna say every single person who found religion in prison was a cop out. Some niggas, that's what it took for them to open up a Bible or open up a Quran and read it and get some new knowledge, see something different. Not every nigga's doing it for a cop out. Some niggas are, some niggas not. It's case by case, not a blanket statement, in my opinion.
So so do you put that in the same line as the snitch rule? Now it's case by case now.
No, because
that's two different things. Because if somebody catch a case for 10 years and they end up finding God and overcoming and looking at life different now, at that point, it's like I'm not necessarily gonna judge them. Like, I got a close friend that got a gang of time. He's a Christian now. He got out. He's doing successful for himself. Built his own business, established a lot, and I don't look at him no different. Now, other people might, but it's like, nigga, you chose a better life. I don't even understand how people be mad at people for that. Like, you can't be my real homie if you know we've been living fucked up, doing all type of crazy shit, and you decide, like, I want better for my life, and I'll be like, nah, nigga, you got to do this, nigga, forever.
It's cynicism, and the same way people out here look at religion, it's that much more intense in there. Out here, people, you look at people who are religious, whatever their faction is, and you looking at them like, you saying this, your actions are not indicative of your words. So if you've been in those situations in the institution like that, you've watched guys claim. I've seen guys in there when I have the misfortune of being in there. Dude claimed he was a whole Muslim. Dude used to make spreads and quite literally use pork cracklings. And stuff like that.
I hear you.
Because it is points to what you made sure, like, some niggas get in there, then they don't
They be frontlining on the streets and all of a sudden.
But then they don't necessarily.
But you can tell.
They don't want to participate over time. Like, once they start to realize how politicking is and niggas your name could be dropped in the hat anytime for anything, like small things. So once niggas start seeing the violence of it, that's when niggas start to really change up. Or they just really, if that you've been impacted enough in your life to where it's like, I don't want to do this no more.
Basically, long story short, the streets are illogical. If you're popular enough, the rules don't apply to you. If you're not, the rules is gonna be led with a motherfucking steel hammer.
Or
so
money.
you gotta understand,
money
it don't
too.
make sense because even right here for the last 20 minutes, we couldn't even agree on a simple definition. One, I don't condone snitching, period. I think that's one of the worst things you could possibly do. If we all agree to do something, we get caught, and then you backstab and telling your mans to get less time, that's bullshit. But then you got to look at snitching from a different aspect. It's not always street shit. It could be some civil rights shit going on. Hey, we doing some Black Panther Party stuff. We revolutionizing our people. And then one of the people, part of that movement, gets in trouble and backstabs the whole movement, and that gets taken down the same way the Panthers did. That's snitching too. It wasn't no street shit, but it's snitching. Because people like to say, oh, civilians can't snitch. Yes, they absolutely can. But what is the definition of snitching? Because if you in the streets, you snitched. If you're now a civilian, are you still snitching?
It's, man, so let's on the civilian.
I just think it's harder for street people because
they hold you to a higher standard.
Nah, not even to a higher standard, but even you've been in the streets too long to where sometimes people still gonna look at you a certain way. Even if no matter where you from, it's hard to say. You just gonna be that person from over there. You get what I'm saying?
I was gonna say
it's a scarlet letter. Basically.
I was gonna say even as a civilian, sometimes even if you do participate in snitching, you still putting your life in danger because the person you snitching on could be tied to something very dangerous, and now that you putting your family into trouble that you could have, just turned a blind eye for.
So socially, if we're being honest, socially, nobody likes a snitch because when you were a child in as young as kindergarten, I don't know if you guys recall, they used to tell you nobody likes a tattletale.
Fact.
Which is a nice way of saying nobody likes a snitch. So socially, it is indoctrinated in us in some capacity to not tell. It's just a matter of, which you alluded to, who it is, favoritism. Because they quite literally told us don't tell when we were kids, but then they tell you to tell. So we have to pick and choose in politics. So if that's the case, now that I've thought about it, I don't know what to really call it because they teach us not to tell, but then they tell us to tell. Well, when do we tell?
That's why I don't draw the line with civilian and street. No, telling is telling, whether you civilian or you in the streets.
What if they whistleblow?
In my opinion.
What if they whistleblow for a good cause? Like, say if it was like a human trafficking or a grape situation, or like how the priest was touching on the kids in the Catholic Church.
Niggas.
And someone like, you know what? I got to expose this. This is terrible. Do we give them the same grace, or they should have handled it in court?
Absolutely not. That goes without saying. So we quite literally on the street level, something like that, you can't even walk the main line. So that lets you know that that's immoral.
He's saying if you tell the police, like they asked Cam on that 20-minute interview, he said, I wouldn't say nothing. I would just move away. They said, what if a serial killer moved next door? He said, I don't want to live around serial killers. I would move away. But I wouldn't tell the police. I would let them keep serial killing.
What I'm saying is like, what if somebody is snitching that's something of the greater good, of something like that was heinous?
They're going to say you should have unalived him because you're from the streets. You living by the street rules. If he hit the main line, you got to put in work anyway on him. So on the street, you got to do the same thing.
But what if a civilian does, like, prime example, what if someone could stop 9/11 from happening? Say if they was to expose the plan before it even happened, would that would have been praised? Would that have been like, hey man, that was a good job?
That's on a larger scale, and that's something about
What
you
I'm
talking about.
A civilian, they're
casualties.
not gonna say he snitched.
Yeah, that's
Being a good civilian.
Good
quite
Samaritan at that
Yeah,
point.
good Samaritan.
That's
That's
it.
that's what
That's
they're gonna
it.
say.
So when a civilian
Nobel
does
Peace
this,
Prize.
is a good Samaritan act. That's basically what that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when they do it, good Samaritan. When you do it, snitch, because you living by the outlaw rules, and outlaws handle problems a different way. They don't use the police.
So did Beans do something egregious in the movie State Property when he snitched on his own homie and when he had his homie pop the old boy in the street?
What you mean?
Remember when Beans went out to make the phone call on the payphone and then he had Memphis Bleak character gun down old boy in the streets and Beans called and set that up?
It is
Y'all remember
snitching, but that's part of the game. Like, the thing about the streets is there is no rules. Let's just call it what the rules
lawless.
is. There is no rules.
Ain't no honor amongst thieves. You
Quite
lying. You lying
literally.
if you think it's gonna be.
So when things don't go according to the plan, can you really be upset for some faulty stuff? From a human standpoint, sure. From what you agreed to, absolutely. But knowing what you signed up for, are you really mad that some faulty stuff took place? And when you're in that lifestyle in any capacity, no matter whether it's law enforcement being janky, your homies being janky, a rival, whatever, in that capacity, it's janky.
Bottom line is this: stay the fuck out the streets. That's just what it is. Unless you ready for the consequences that come with it. And then some people, like I said before, they don't care whatever it may be. If you're gonna do something, do it by yourself. Stay away. But it's damn near it's ugly. It's about to be.
Oh,
Well, it already
streets
is.
washed.
Artificial intelligence, everything. You ain't even got to do nothing. They got Ring cameras, a camera on every street light, on every corner, pinging you with your phone.
It's
Like,
certain things too. Even if you shoot in this, a bullet is in the sky. They got things.
They got the towers.
They got
Yeah,
the
they got
sensors now.
exactly to
Tell
show
you
that.
the exact location where the gunshot went off at.
And this is really speaking to the people that's not there yet, to the youth and everybody else.
Exactly.
Because most of the people, if you knee deep, you already know how you got to move regardless. Like some people, you can't escape.
But the youth, the ones who are influenced right now, these are the ones to deter them for even coming that way. Because we all know really what it comes down to. It's the pen or death. And it's nothing nice at the end of the day. It's very few success stories that come out of gangbanging. Straight up.